What is going on, everybody? Tech enthusiast here, and this is my review of the Huawei Mate 40 Pro. Okay, so let's just get straight into it. Now the very first thing you will notice that it says at the bottom of the box, explore it on App Gallery. So you probably guessed this does not have Google Play services. Now let's just take a look at the variant that I have. So it is the 256GB model with 8GB of RAM. The color is Mystic Silver, dual SIM, and it has 5G. So firstly we have the Huawei Mate 40 Pro, a clear TPU case, and I really appreciate that just for the grip and drop protection, a USB-A to Type-C charging cable, USB Type-C earphones, and they included a charging adapter which charges at a whopping 66 watts, unlike Apple who don't even give you a charging adapter. Looking around the sides of the device, so on the right hand side we have a red accent power button and the volume rocker. On the top is a mic, an IR blaster which you don't see on many phones, and one of the stereo speakers. Nothing on the left hand side. And then on the bottom we have the SIM tray, USB Type-C port, and bottom firing speaker. So here is the Huawei Mate 40 Pro in all its full glory, and it just looks amazing. So one of the first things you will notice is the pill cutout for the dual selfie cameras. As for the screen, it just melts off the side. So one of the only phones to do it for 2020, I believe. And the back also looks amazing. This is the Mystic Silver color, and look at it change colors. So whatever angle it's facing, the colors will be different, and this is easily one of the best colors available for the Mate 40 Pro. Now looking at the camera bump here, it does stick out a little bit, but once you put a case on, it is flush. Powering the Mate 40 Pro is the Kirin 9000 CPU, which is the first 5nm SoC for Android. It has a 6.76 inch OLED display just shy of Quad HD at 90Hz refresh rate. There are two storage variants, 256 or 512GB, both with 8GB of RAM, 50 megapixel triple camera setup. It's still on Android 10 with EMUI 11, a 4400 mAh battery, and 66 watt charging. As for the pricing, at the time of the video, this will cost you £1,099 in the UK. So we still have the in-screen fingerprint sensor, and I find it really fast. It is better than Samsung's implementation, and as you can see, it is really fast. Face unlock is also really fast. You just need to look at it and it unlocks instantly, and again I think it is faster than Samsung's face unlock. So this is what your phone is going to look like when you boot it up for the first time. On the left hand side you have feeds just like OnePlus phones. Now moving over to the right, this is where your installed apps are going to be, and there are some bloatware such as Snapchat, AliExpress. You can uninstall those, and there's a bunch of folders as well, so not to worry, these are actually shortcuts. You can simply just remove them as they are not installed on the phone, taking up any space. Swiping inwards with two fingers will give you the customization setting. The very first one is the wallpapers. There are quite a few wallpapers here. They all look very good, and you also have the option of using a wallpaper from your camera. There's also the transition, so this will change the way you cycle your home screen. You've probably seen this on other phones. It is quite self-explanatory. And then lastly we have the home screen settings. It is very minimal, so some of the options you can change here is the grid layout. In past Huawei devices, I'm sure there were more settings. There was also an option to add a app drawer, and this option is missing here. So another useful option is swiping in from the edge of the screen. It brings you a few shortcuts. A calculator which floats around the screen. You can drag it anywhere. You can also resize it by pulling the corners. This is quite useful. Now again, if you swipe back in for that option, you can add a shortcut. So let's use the web browser to demonstrate this. Obviously you can use any app, and some of them will show up in this floating style. As most of you will already know, there is no Google Play services, so what Huawei are doing is developing their own store. So this is called App Gallery. They have got quite a few apps in there, so you've got TikTok, Amazon. So let me just go in and show you how that is. So if you scroll to the bottom, you can see comments and ratings. You can install apps from here. Another option is petal search. So let me just go search for an app called Fast. Click on the apps tab, and here you can also install apps. So this will be installed just like how you're seeing it here. Now if I go to the home screen, you will see that the app is installed. Another option could be that you downloaded apps from a web browser, or you transferred some APKs to your phone. So what you can do is go into your file explorer, go to the location where it's installed. So here I've got Citra, which is a Nintendo 3DS emulator. That is installed. So we're going to go back to the home screen, and these apps will work fine just as they would do with other Android phones. Now, having said that, there are some Google apps you can't install, such as Gmail or YouTube. So the only other option is to use the web version of those apps. Not really convenient, but it does do the job. So we're going to take a look at some of the settings, starting off with the display settings. So here we have useful options like the screen resolution, and this is set to high right now. So obviously you can change it to save extra battery life as well. Now another option is the screen refresh rate. So Ultra is actually 90 Hz. It's not 120 Hz like other phones such as OnePlus and Samsung, but at least it is better than the iPhone 12 series. You can also put it on dynamic, so if a app or a game needs to use a higher refresh rate, it will do it, then come back to 60 Hz. So the settings aren't cluttered like what you will find on Xiaomi phones running MIUI. So it is categorized quite nicely. Now if you wanted to find something, for example the navigation bar, you can just type it on the top. So you can go quickly to that sub setting, and here you can enable the legacy navigation keys, and this is something I personally prefer to use. Now if you are using gestures for the first time, it will give you the option for a tutorial, but I'll just show you how it works. So a swipe from the left or right is the back, swipe up is the home action. Now if you swipe up and hold, it will bring up your recents. And you can close all the apps by tapping on the trash can. If you're coming from iPhone 10 and up, you'll feel right at home with these gestures. As for the camera, the Huawei Mate 40 Pro has a 50 megapixel main lens, a 12 megapixel telephoto lens, and a 20 megapixel ultra wide angle lens. And for video recording, it can record 4K at 60 frames per second. Like every year, Huawei doesn't disappoint when it comes to cameras. The photos that it takes are very good, the details are excellent, and the color accuracy is also very good. They're not excessively vibrant or too punchy, which I have seen with other phones in the past. Portrait photos also come out very good, as you can see here. Zooming capabilities are something else. This is default. Now moving up to 10 times. This is 20 times, and finally 50 times zoom. Yes, it's not sharp, but it just shows you how far it can zoom into. So here is an indoor photo with light coming in through the window. It's not a sunny day. Another indoor photo, but this one is with room lighting conditions. And finally, the last one is an outdoor low light photo, and I think the photo looks very good. As mentioned earlier, the Huawei Mate 40 Pro can record 4K videos at 60 frames per second. My biggest take here is that the video stabilization has really improved, and if you're jogging, you can notice that. However, if you are jogging, then it looks like there's a slight jitter, and I'm sure a software update can fix this. It's just a shame that we didn't get bright days in the UK here, and that's why the video looks a bit gloomy. Now moving on to gaming, this is Asphalt 9, which is one of the more demanding games on Android, and you can find it on App Gallery. The game runs absolutely fine, no slowdown at all. Watching videos and movies on the Mate 40 Pro is a very good experience, as it does have an excellent display and stereo speakers. The only thing I found intrusive is that pill cutout. So Huawei also have the 66 watt supercharger, and that is actually one-upping Oppo's 65 watt charger. As for the charging speed, it is fast. In half an hour you're getting about just over 80%, and just under 50 minutes you will get from flat to full battery. So I found the Huawei Mate 40 Pro to be a very smooth phone. Battery life is excellent, the cameras are great, and overall it has been a pleasure to use. So do you buy the Mate 40 Pro? Well, if you install lots of apps, if the Google Play services is really important to you, and if you want the latest version of Android, then as of right now, probably not, and there are alternatives out there. However, if you don't install many apps and you're comfortable with sideloading apps, then this phone is an excellent choice. Overall, it has great hardware, very good cameras, 66 watt supercharging, 50 watt wireless charging, and it's 5G enabled. Who knows, anything could change in the near future. We may get Google support, and don't forget we're going to have Harmony OS upcoming very shortly. So it's going to get really interesting with Huawei. So that does it for this review, and I hope you found it helpful, and I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Now if you happen to be new to the channel, then please do subscribe and hit that bell icon as I have more videos coming up. Please do follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and like always, thanks for watching, and I will catch up with you in the next video.